dawn's early light. What so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Burley Sports Center in St. Albans. Tate Brooks, Joe Luno on hand as the Bobwhites on senior night take on the Mount Mansfield Union Cougars. Taking a look at the standings heading into the final regular season weekend, you've got, as we mentioned earlier, Middlebury at number 1, the St. Johnsbury Hilltoppers at number 2, Rutland at 3, Essex at 4. That's another big matchup occurring here this evening. Burton at 5, Mount Anthony at 6, CVU at 7, BFA at that 8th and final playoff position, followed by the Seawolves and then Brattleboro. We'd like to thank our community partners that help make this broadcast possible: Northwestern Counseling Service Support Service, the Afterglow Foundation, Northwestern Rehab Services, My Healthy Vermont, Notch, Stone's Auto St. Albans and Fairfield, Stewart's Clarence Brown, Handy Cars, Union Bank, JC Image, and Collins Pearly Sports and Fitness Center. If your business would like to join our community partners and contribute to the production of these games, please contact Paul Snyder at Northwest Access TV, 802-782-8676.
Little different look on the kickoff here for BFA. Jones is usually back with Sweeney. He's in the second level here on the short side of the field tonight.
Grayson Hebert with a line drive kick. It's going to be fielded by one of the up men at the 30-yard line, turning it upfield, and going forward is Hayden Sweeney, one of the up backs. So good starting field position here for Joe. Joe, around the Bobwhite, call it 43, 44-yard line.
Yeah, we'll see where the Bobwhites can go from there, Tate. Nothing wrong with that start.
So the Bobwhite offense will take the field, led by quarterback Jonas Wagner. So 1st and 10.
No, not what we wanted to see last week, but Wagner had a couple of nice passing plays that were converted for touchdowns, and
calls his own number on the quarterback keeper, takes it outside, still pushing the pile, Joe, and he'll have 5 on the carry.
Nothing wrong with that, and a lot of that was Wagner.
Sets up a 2nd and about 5. Nose of the football at the Bobwhite 49-yard line.
Number 23, Davion Jones checking in, Braden Manning checking out.
2 receiver set here to the near side. That's Duffy Smith and Hayden Sweeney. Again, shotgun formation, MMU showing blitz, high snap, able to get the handoff here to the near side. Turning the corner is Jones. Jones stutter step, still on his feet to the 40, cuts inside to the 30, and there goes Jones. Devion Jones for a BFA touchdown.
All right.
So Joe, we'll see if we take a look on our replay there, but the Cougars were showing a blitz up the middle and could not have worked out any better for the Bobwhites as Jones took that play outside for the score.
Yeah, I mean, we had a little bit of a high snap there. It was handled okay by Wagner, and you see the result.
PAT opportunity here for Schaffner. Kick is high enough, and the kick is good. Our score with 11:04 remaining in the first quarter, BFA 7, Mount Mansfield 0. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Joe, Bobwhite offense couldn't have asked for anything more on that first offensive series.
Hey, started the decent field position and, punched one in on the second play of the series at Jones, and that was about from midfield, give or take.
Joe, we've talked about the explosiveness of Jones. We haven't seen as much as I think he or the team would like to see. He's had a few touchdowns called back this season. Got his first official touchdown in the books last week. So certainly the junior continues to build as the season goes forward.
Yeah, and he's been close. He's been grabbed by the ankles a few times where he was just about there. But I had the opportunity to see Jones and the Steelers team. They got to the state finals, and he was. You saw his number called a lot on some real long plays.
High end over end kick going to be fielded at the 15 here to the near side. Looking to turn it upfield is Jack Lorenzini.
You might see a flag on that one. Nope.
We certainly saw our fill of flags last Friday evening. Hopefully we can see
we
less
did.
than that, right?
Yep. I'm going to try to Men in Black that one.
All right, 1st and 10 here for the Cougars. Ball spotted at their 35-yard line. Looks like we've got James Robert Cafuria. Back to pass. Fires over on that far side. Has his man. And that's Jake Califari McGee. So I assume brothers, potentially cousins.
I would suspect so. After a decent gain, forced out by number 82, Silas Luciano Parrott for BFA.
Sets up a 2nd and 1. Calfara McGee shotgun formation here. He's got his running back Michael Austin, who will take the handoff between the tackles, and Austin pushes the pile ahead and still on his feet and will have enough for the first down. So originally met at the line of scrimmage, but some second effort picked up an additional 5 yards and the first down.
We'll see what the Bobwhites defense and Coach Brannick can conjure up on this one, Tate.
Cougars right to the line of scrimmage. Calforia McGee, again, shotgun. Motion in the backfield. Handoff here to the near side to Alston. Alston looking to pick up a block, turns the corner, and Alston will have enough for a Cougar first down. So,
I'd say I don't think it had anything to do with the play tape, but there was a lot of motion in the Cougars' backfield before that snap. Looked a little bit like the CFL.
Well, big game for the Montreal Alouettes tomorrow against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Chance to win the Eastern Division.
Hey, go Alouette. Hopefully Touche is busy.
Well, back here in St. Albans, though, 3 receivers set to the top side of your screen here. BFA showing blitz. There's a snap, play action pass. Looking downfield, fires over the middle and in and out of the hands of Jack Lorenzia.
A well-designed play. Well-designed play. I think it had in Buffalo. Lorenzia, I think, is just guilty of running before he caught it, Tate.
Certainly had some room there. Good job by his receivers pulling back the defensive backs of BFA, and certainly if he comes down with that, Joe, he's got some running room.
He was going for a ride. BFA caught a break on that one. Hopefully they take advantage of it.
2 receivers on each side of the field here. Here's a snap, calling his own number on the quarterback keeper, and stacked up on the line of scrimmage for no gain. And that's going to set up a 3rd and about 10 here for the Cougars.
A good job on the part of the Bob White defender. Number was obscured, but really peeled off a blocker and was able to make that tackle, keep him to a minimal gain for 3rd and long here.
Calfioria, McGee, again, shotgun formation, 4 receiver set. There's a snap, looking, fires over on the far side, has a man, and wrapped up short of the 1st down. That's Alexandria Romanako on the reception. That's going to set up a 4th and short. Call it 4th and 2 here for the Cougars.
Got to believe the Cougars are going to go for it here in this part of the field take.
3 receivers set here for Mount Mansfield.
Something tells me those receivers are just for looks, Tate.
BFA jumps on the hard count. So a free 5 yards, and the Cougars take advantage of a BFA defensive miscue. 9:16 remaining here in the 1st quarter. Bobwhites with a 7-0 lead. Again, they stay with the same formation. 3 receivers set here to the near side.
Ball spotted about the BFA 24.
There's a snap, low snap, firing it over the middle and high, and it is caught for a Cougar touchdown. Nathan Thomas Fulham hauls in for 6.
Looked like Porter Sweeney was just about got a hand on it for BFA tape, but it was not to be.
So the Cougars respond immediately, pull within 1. Max White to attempt the PAT here for MMU. Long count here. They get it off. Kick is long enough, and the kick is good. With 9:11 remaining in the 1st quarter, our score, BFA 7, MMU 7. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Senior night here for BFA, and we're all knotted up at 7 here, Joe.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, MMU, not afraid to throw the ball around, Tate.
Wet conditions out there, and they're still firing right down the field. It's going to be a squib kick here, and the ball is still loose at the 30. Turning it upfield here for the Bobwhites is Hayden Sweeney, and Sweeney breaks it loose. And there goes Hayden Sweeney.
There's a flag on the play.
Sweeney taken down to the 3, but as Joe mentions, there's a flag on the far side of the field at around the BFA 43-yard line.
Highly likely that's coming back, Tate.
However, there is a flag on the play.
That's too bad. Nowhere near where the play was operating. Now, that could be an MMU infraction, but very seldom do you see the kicking team pick up an infraction on a kickoff.
Officials talking things over here. Yep, they're coming back. If you look at the official, it's a hold against BFA. And you're right, Joe, that's unfortunate because that was on the far side of the field and nowhere near the play. Wipes off a tremendous return effort by Hayden Sweeney.
Flag on the play, holding.
Well, Joe, we're off to a track meet start here in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, we've ticked 3 minutes here, and we've seen 2 touchdowns, and
almost a third.
If not for that immaterial hold, BFA would have had a 1st and goal at about the 3.
So even though it's a 10-yard penalty in the books, it's probably more. It's about a 50-yard penalty in flipping the field.
Yeah, I think that's known as a stinker. We'll see what BFA can do here. Wagner back to.
Wagner with a nice snap on the snap, drives ahead on the quarterback keeper for the 1st down. But Joe, again, the ball is slick out there with the field, and great job for Wagner to take down that high snap.
Absolutely. Good for about 14 there, Tate.
Nose of the football now rests at the BFA 45-yard line. Under 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Smith and Hayden Sweeney split out wide here to the near side. Pistol formation in the backfield and handoff over on the far side to Sweeney. And that's Porter Sweeney rumbling ahead for another first down for BFA.
Yeah, picking up yards and big gobs here, Tate. And get well into MMU territory here for this next set of downs.
Brandon Manning checks out of the game here for the Bobwhites. Again, 1st and 10, ball spotted at the Cougar 44-yard line.
Rain appears to have pretty much dissipated.
Jones lines up in the wingback position on the far side. That's Hayden Sweeney in motion in the back. And counter here over the near side to Jones. Jones stutter steps, takes it wide here to the near side, lowers his shoulder, and Jones is finally forced out of bounds. We've got a flag, though, back at the Cougar 42-yard line, and that's usually, Joe, where you see a hold or block from behind downfield.
You're not wrong, Tate, and that's just what it is.
So another penalty here on this possession for the Bobwhites will wipe Jones's 7-yard scamper off the board.
That's too bad. Jones did a good job to get around the end there. Going to bring BFA back to about a 1st and 20 or so.
Well, it's from the spot of the infraction, so it won't quite be that. Call it 1st and 16, maybe.
Okay.
All right, Bobwhites roll out Smith and Hayden Sweeney here to the near side. 2 receivers set on the far side of the field with Porter Sweeney. Here's a snap calling his own numbers. The quarterback, Wagner has a seam. Wagner drives over a defender. Wagner still on his feet, and Wagner has a close to the first down.
Boy.
Some good, hard running there by the quarterback, Jonas Wagner.
There was a MMU defender tried to get Wagner up high, and I'm guessing he's not going to do that again tonight.
So looking by the spot of the officials, that will be a first down on the quarterback keeper. So the Bobwhites able to overcome that last holding call. Again, going with a pistol formation in the backfield and handoff straight ahead to Manning. Manning's first carry of the evening. He'll pick up a 1 or 2 on the carry.
Yeah, we'll see where they spot it. It's a positive play.
No gain on the play, brings up 2nd down.
Manning, again, one of the number of juniors here on the Bobwhite squad. Down to about 7 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Smith splits out wide on the far side of the field. Here's a snap. And a direct snap, Joe. That was a direct snap to Porter Sweeney. So we saw that a few times last week.
I think that's going to get the Bobwhites to a 3rd and very manageable. What do we got? A yard or 2 to go, Tate.
Certainly in 4-down territory, I would say. Nose of the football right at the Cougar College 25-yard line.
And as we've seen this year, the Bobwhites do have a bit of a kicking game.
There's a snap again, direct snap to Sweeney, who takes it outside. Porter Sweeney sees some room, takes it out, stutter steps, and finally down to about the 14-yard line.
And it being good enough for a Bobwhite first down.
Again, back-to-back direct snaps to Sweeney directly, who's lined up direct, right beside his quarterback, Jonas Wagner. So in fact, it's going to be 1st and goal here for BFA. Say the nose of the football at the 10-yard line. There's a snap. This time it's calling his own number as Wagner right in the pile. Wagner pushing the guards and tackles down to about the 5.
And we've seen BFA throw the ball with some success this year, Tate, but until MMU shows they can do something with this running game, why?
I mean, keeping it on the ground is the safest thing, right? You know, you go to the air, 3 things happen: pass completion, incompletion, or interception.
And frankly, it's a little soggy out there, even though the rain stopped.
So 2nd and goal for the Bobwhites, knocking on the door, about the Cougar 3-yard line, I would say. So it looks like Porter Sweeney is lined up right directly beside Wagner in the shotgun, and direct snap once again to Porter Sweeney, who finds the end zone in the corner for a touchdown.
All right.
Touchdown BFA. Porter Sweeney on the direct snap takes it in from 3 yards out. One of the advantages, Joe, on that is your quarterback becomes an extra blocker when you have that direct snap, and Sweeney did a nice job just following Wagner into the end zone. There's the snap. Kick is up. The kick is good. Our score with 4:58 remaining here in the first quarter. It's BFA 14, the Cougars 7. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. The Bobwhites with a 7-point lead. Joe, the Bobwhite offense able to overcome some self-inflicted holding calls on that drive.
Yeah, I mean, the Bobwhites picked up effectively around 60-yard penalties on 2 plays, one on the kickoff return and another one that negated what would have been a 7-yard run by Jones. Bobwhites have had a lot of success keeping the ball on the ground. In fact, to kick off here.
In fact, I don't think the Bobwhites have attempted a pass yet today.
Haven't needed to. I mean, why would they? I mean, again, it stopped raining, but that field's got to be a little soggy.
End over end kick fielded by Alston here to the near side. Michael Austin to the 25, and finally twisted and thrown out of bounds by number 34, Manning. So Brandon Manning on the tackle.
Yeah, Manning finished him off. I think Wagner was holding him up a little bit.
Again, important game if you're just tuning in here this evening for the Bobwhites. A win assures them the playoffs. A loss, and then they're counting on the Middlebury Tigers to take care of business against South Burlington.
I'll tell you, it's got the Bobwhite defensive unit out, and I think there's some more opportunity for enhancements on this side of the ball for BFA. Looking for a first stop in a couple weeks.
Caforia McGee takes the snap, looking to air it out again into the air, and wrapped up immediately. That was Jake Joseph Caforia McGee on the reception. I would say his brother.
I would say so. They're about the same size.
One a junior, one a sophomore, the sophomore being the quarterback.
For a minimal gain.
Sets up a 2nd and 4. Again, Cougars leaning on the pass. Once again, a little floater out here to the near side, and a nice tackle here by the Bobwhites.
Hey, I think the Bobwhites got a yard or 2 back there, Tate.
Kind of left Michael Alston out there to hang.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a floater out into the flats.
Yeah, that was a screen with no blockers.
It's going to be a loss of a couple on the play, setting up a 3rd and call it 6. 3 receivers set to the top side of your screen here. BFA showing blitz, and again, Joe, 2nd time today we've seen them jump offside.
It is. I don't know what to say, Tate.
4th penalty of the first quarter, self-inflicted wounds.
This is not going to give the Cougars a first down, but it's going to get them real close.
Sets up a 3rd and 1. Certainly provides a number of different opportunities for the offense here. Looking now at a 3rd and 1. They stick with the same formation, and it's going to be a direct snap into the backfield and stop. That was Alston on the direct snap, and good job, Joe, by that defensive front by Bobwhites.
Absolutely. Bobwhites got him good 4 or 5 yards behind the line, Tay. We'll see where they spot it.
So Cougars showing punt here on this 4th and 5. Joe would have thought on 3rd and 1 they would have had a better opportunity to convert that, but it seems like the Cougars have had more success throwing the football than running here this evening.
I'll believe the punt when I see it. Okay, it's a real punt.
Off the side of his foot here to the near side, takes a BFA roll, and it will be down at the Cougar 47-yard line.
Cougar punt down at about
That was
the
almost
46
calamitous for the
yard line.
Bobwhites.
Their own 46
That
yard line.
Smith
BFA
over there
begins
with
their
his-
drive there. First down.
His
and
back
10
to the
go.
ball. It wouldn't have been his doing, but that punt came a little close to him coming off the side of the punter's foot, Tate.
We'd like to thank our community partners for that help make this broadcast possible. Northwestern Counseling and Support Services, the Afterglow Foundation, Northwestern Rehab Services, My Healthy Vermont, Notch, Stones Auto, St. Albans, and Fairfield. We'll come back to the rest of our sponsors here after this next play. Pistol formation here for the Bobwhites. Handoff straight ahead to Porter Sweeney on the far side. Sweeney stutter steps, dives ahead, and Sweeney's going to be just short of the first down.
And that was a Bobwhite stop, Tate.
Stones Auto, St. Albans, and Fairfield. Stewart's Clarence Brown. Handy Cars. Union Bank. JC Image, and Collins Pearly Sports and Fitness Center. I want to thank our community partners for making tonight's broadcast possible. Bobwhites looking at a 2nd and 4, 2:30 remaining here in the first quarter. 2 receivers set here to the near side. Porter Sweeney in the backfield. He'll take the handoff from Wagner on that far side. Stutter step turns the corner. He'll have enough for a BFA first down. Porter Sweeney good for call it 6. That's enough to move the sticks.
Moving they are, Tate.
As the Bobwhite offense continues to fire on all cylinders here.
Clock at 2:12. It's going to stay there while they move the sticks. And we're ticking down again toward 2 minutes.
Ball spotted on the MMU 37-yard line, let's call it.
I can see over on the behind the MMU bench, I would say there's some fans that have been to a few road games. They have brought their own tent.
Yeah, prepared for the conditions. And we've got another flag here. And I think this is coming against BFA, Joe, their 5th penalty of the first quarter. They're going to say one of their offensive players lined up in the neutral zone. So Bobwhites thus far, Joe, have been able to overcome these penalties, but that's something you don't want to put yourself in position to have to do.
No, you don't want to pretend you're the 70s Oakland Raiders.
Clock will stop with 1:47 momentarily. Now they start to wind the clock again. So we probably have a couple of plays remaining here in the quarter. So now Bobwhite's looking at a 1st and 15. Porter Sweeney lines up just to the left of his quarterback, Jonas Wagner. Direct snap again, and Porter Sweeney bounces outside. Excuse me, that's Wagner. And Wagner on the quarterback keeper, and another flag comes in on the middle of the field, right around, probably 5 or 6 yards past the first down marker, with 1:19 here. And if this is against the Bobwhites, Joe, that would be 6 penalties in the first quarter.
On a play, I mean, if that's a
Again,
hold ahead, 0-0 to do with Wagner's run.
Face mask against the Cougars.
Now that's assessed at the end of the play in this league, correct?
Yes, that will be assessed from the end of the Wagner's quarterback keeper. So that will probably be half to the distance to the goal line here, and they'll spot that right at the 10-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Bobwhites. 1:19 showing on the scoreboard here at the Collins Pearly.
I believe in Vermont high school football there are 2 face masks, right? Is there?
No,
No, is this
it's,
one?
it's just 1:15.
Yeah.
Don't, I believe that to be the case.
I could be mistaken.
If there's an incidental, I haven't seen one in a very long time. All right, they restart the clock. Pistol formation here. Sweeney right behind Wagner. He takes the handoff. Sweeney stutter steps again, hurdles one defender, and down to about the 2-yard line.
Hey, we'll see if MMU makes some adjustments, Tate, but BFA is just owning those running lanes here in the first quarter.
Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Bobwhites trying to pick up their 3rd touchdown of the quarter and extend their lead. It's going to be 2nd and goal from about the 2. Wagner and Sweeney in the backfield. We'll see who takes the snap. And it goes to Wagner. High snap. Bounces off one defender. Still driving ahead. And Wagner, no signal yet. They're going to say he's down to about the 1.
Just short. Just short.
Under 20 seconds to go here. I wouldn't be surprised to see BFA's head coach Chris Sabrin wind this down, talk things over, looking at a 3rd and goal from the 1, down to about 10 seconds. And indeed, that's what they'll do. So with that, we'll take a timeout. Our score, BFA 14, the Mount Mansfield Cougars 7. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Tate Brooks, Joe Luna on hand as we look to begin the second quarter of play. Joe, your thoughts on the first quarter?
Hey, you know, the Bobwhites are up by a score, and they're knocking on the door for another one. They got their first stop since week 6. So things are looking up, and BFA has not attempted a pass yet in this game tape.
Direct snap to Porter Sweeney. He makes it towards the end zone and is in for a BFA touchdown. So Sweeney just makes it in, extends the lead, and the 3rd score of the game for BFA.
Hey, eating up all of 6 seconds here to open the second quarter.
High snap, they get it down. Kick is up, and the PAT is good. With that, we'll take a quick timeout. Our score, BFA 21, Mount Mansfield 7. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV.
Mount Mansfield 7.
Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Joe, Bobwhite's had a few penalties on that drive. Benefited at least from one face mask penalty.
They did.
And came away with a score.
They did. You know, Bobwhites were able to keep Mount Mansfield to a 3 and out last time around, going to the squib kick this time. Not cleanly handled. But
fielded by Isaiah Streeter, and Streeter on the far side and still on his feet, finally wrapped up. A good field position and a nice return there. Now we've got flags flying. We got a little bit of a scuffle right at midfield here. And Bobwhites would be wise to walk away. This game far more important for BFA on this senior night, again with the playoffs hanging on the potential outcome of this game.
My guess is you're going to see some offsetting penalties there, Tate. Depending on the outcome of this call, the Cougars are in their best starting field position so far this evening.
Looks like offsetting penalties. Good call, Joe.
Also known as split it up, guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Pretty much get a warning this go round. Don't let it happen again. All right. All right, so offsetting penalties against the two squads. 1st and 10 here for the Cougars. They'll start this drive after Streeter's nice return at their own 46-yard line.
Offsetting penalty on the play. Personal fouls on the Bobwhites and the Cougars. 1st down and 10.
Romanco splits out wide here to the near side. Kaforia McGee takes the snap, keeps his, and we got a flag. What do we got here? Flag on the far near side, and around the 41-yard line.
It's going to be motion against MMU by the looks of things.
Indeed, that is the call. Was going to be a quarterback keeper, but Cougars will be marching back 5 yards to try again.
I think the Bobwhites might have even been happier with the outcome of the play, which would have created about a 2nd and 11.
The last score trek had the Middlebury Tigers up 7-0 on the South Burlington Seawolves. So fired over the middle for the 5-yard completion to California McGee. This one, Jake Joseph making the catch.
Yes, this. If you're in a high school PPR league, number 1 is off to a good start. I think that's his 3rd catch of the game.
Yeah. 3 receivers set to the top of your screen. Shotgun formation. California McGee back to pass again. Fires over on the far side and hits California McGee, his brother, as the Cougars continue to have success throwing the football here this evening.
Yeah, that's not going to move the chains. That's going to bring about a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 for MMU.
2 receiver, make that a 3 receiver set here the near side. See if the Cougars switch up the cadence count. They've caught the Bobwhites a couple of times. Nope. Back to pass, firing over the middle, and caught. Incomplete. Not able to come up with it. Digging down with it was Jake Califario McGee. Thought he might have come up with it, but.
Yeah, I mean, the contact with the ground broke it up. He did everything but come down to that ball take. That would have been a nice play.
Sets up a 4th and 2 here with 10:33 remaining in the half. Again, Cougars have had most of their success throwing the football here. Empty backfield for the Cougars. Now we got motion, and Alstead takes it's going to be a quarterback keeper straight ahead. So a fake to Alstead on the jet, and it ended up being a quarterback keeper. That was that was a beautiful play fake. Had me completely fooled, as well as the BFA defense.
Yep, jerk my neck.
First down for the Cougars. Only 1 punt here this evening in the first half.
And I think that was, even without that outcome, that was the right call for the Cougars. The Cougars D's had a lot of trouble containing BFA, and you were at midfield with about a 3rd or 4th and 2 there, Tate.
Sets up a first down at the BFA, call it 35-yard line. We got a timeout taken on the field. With the timeout, we'd like to thank our community partners that help make this broadcast possible. Northwestern Counseling and Support Services, the Afterglow Foundation, Northwestern Rehab Services, My Healthy Vermont, Notch, Stone's Auto St. Albans in Fairfield and in St. Albans. There you go. Stewart's Clarence Brown, Handy Cars, Union Bank, JC Image, and Collins Pearly Sports and Fitness Center. If your business would like to join our community partners and contribute to the production of these games, please contact Paul Snyder at Northwest Access TV, 802-782-8676. In the second quarter, it's the Essex Hornets leading Rutland in Rutland 7-0. Battle of 2 teams that are towards the top of the Division I standings. There's a snap back to pass. Plenty of time, fires over across the middle of the field and sprinting free here to the near sideline, and it'll be close to a first down. That was Jack Lorenziana.
Number 11. Jack
Lorenzini, excuse me.
Got some opportunities there for the Bobwhites pass rush, Tate. Kaforia McGee, way too comfortable back there.
Lots of time. Sets up a 1st and 10. This at the Bobwhite 21-yard line. Handoff to Alston. Alston drives ahead, and he's going to be close to a first down. Again, the Cougars trying to claw their way back to a 1-score game. 3 receivers set to the top of your screen. Alston takes the handoff on that far side and stepping up and making a beautiful tackle as a flag flies in. This flag may be against the Cougars downfield. No face mask on that one, Joe. That was a pretty solid hit.
No, that flag was in the general area of an offensive hold, but we'll see what the officials come up with.
Looking at Second and about 3. Not sure what the holdup here is. It's against BFA. I don't know. That's interesting. I did not recognize the call. So penalties against BFA. Have to figure that one out after the game. Sets up a 1st and goal at about the 9-yard line. So Bobwhite's 6th penalty of the game. Does result in the 1st down. There's a snap, back to pass, firing in the end zone, and caught. And a Cougar touchdown.
Looks like number 11 for the Cougars, Jake Lorenzini.
So
Jack, excuse me.
Lorenzini's 2nd reception on that series. And both offenses, Joe, seeming to have their way thus far here this evening. Max White for the PAT, blocked. Blocked. Great job there by the Bobwhite special teams unit, and that will keep it an 8-point game. Keep that one in mind, folks, as the game continues. With that, we'll take a quick timeout with 9:31 remaining. BFA 21, Mount Mansfield 13. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. So a big block on the PAT attempt keeps it at 8. Out-of-town score, Joe, I know you were curious about. It's Burton leading CVU 13-7. We'll come back to that in a moment. That game does carry some significance potentially for BFA. Ball is fielded and turning it upfield to around the 40-yard line. Number 21 for BFA, Aiden Sweeney. So we mentioned a little bit in our pregame, Joe, Bobwhite's in the 8th and final position. There is a possibility with a BFA win this evening, and again, that's far from assured at this point, and a Burton win over CVU, the Bobwhites could end up leapfrogging them into the 7th place.
They could. That's it. You know, you need a couple things to happen, as you just indicated, and the best thing the Bobwhites can do is just worry about taking care of business here at the Collins Pearly tonight.
1st and 10. Wagner. And Sweeney on the direct snap. Porter Sweeney going to be close to a 1st down. So the Bobwhites doing a good job here this evening, Joe. You know, getting Porter Sweeney the direct snap. We saw a little bit of it last week, but more of it here this evening.
Absolutely, and it looks like they're moving the sticks, Tate.
So did have enough for the 1st down. Credit Porter Sweeney for 10. Knows the football right on the 50-yard line. 9:15 remaining in the half.
A lot of time, a lot of football left here in this first half.
Bobwhite switch things up. Porter Sweeney splits out wide to the far side. 3 receivers. We got Manning in the backfield, and calling his own number here is Wagner, and Wagner's stuck at the line of scrimmage. So good job by the Cougars making their way off a block and tracking down Wagner for a minimal gain.
23, Davion Jones checking in. Manning can take a breather on the sideline.
Jones with the first BFA touchdown on the 2nd play of the game, if you're just tuning in. Duffy Smith splits out wide to the far side, looking at a 2nd and 9. Here's a snap and handoff here to the near side. Stutter step, still on his feet is Porter Sweeney. And Porter Sweeney is going to set up a 3rd and short here for BFA.
Ducking defenders, gain of about 6.
So the Bobwhites fake the counter there.
And 3 to go.
And reverse, all sorts of options there. And call it 3rd and about 3 here.
Yep.
And again, way this game has turned into a track meet, Joe, Bobwhites are probably looking at 4 down territory at this point.
Very different looking offensive too. Bobwhites yet to put the ball in the air this evening here, Tate.
There's a snap. Wagner lowers his shoulder, still pushing the pile, and Wagner looks to have enough from that second and third effort. So Jonas Wagner had some contact in the backfield, Joe, but kept the legs moving and picks up the first down.
Yep, so that, and I agree with you, that probably would have been 4 down territory, but we don't got to think about it now, and neither does Coach Sabrin.
Bobwhites pick up the first down. The other thing, Joe, is that that will keep the clock running here. And the way the Cougars have been able to throw the football, you do kind of want to just keep possession, run the football, and just, you know, try to use the clock to your advantage.
Hey, and I'm sure there'll be some talk, but on the other side of the ball, BFA really needs to figure out how to put a little bit more pressure on. Oh,
there goes Jones up the middle. Jones with his second big run of the day, down to about the Cougar 10-yard line.
I think that actually was number 20, Porter Sweeney.
You're right. Thank you, Porter Sweeney. A little misdirection in the backfield had me misdirecting the call. And indeed, Joe, thank you, Porter Sweeney on the run once again. They're going to spot him at about the 12-yard line with 7:07 remaining here in the half.
I think MMU will be set to receive to open the second half. So they had deferred.
Blitz on. Wagner calls his own number here to the near side. He sees the parting of the sea, and Wagner takes it in for a BFA touchdown. Good vision there by the quarterback, Jonas Wagner, Joe.
Tate, do you recall the last time BFA scored 4 touchdowns in the first half?
On 4 possessions?
Yes.
You're testing my memory.
I do not know the answer to this. It is not a rhetorical question.
It's been a while. We'll take it, though. Here's a snap. Kick is up. It's high enough, and it is good. Our score with 6:48 remaining in the half. BFA 28. The Mount Mansfield Cougars 13. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. And Joe, that BFA offense moving right along here. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns.
4 possessions, 4 touchdowns, 0 pass attempts.
Hey, that's old school football. My old head coach, Dave Peterson, would be very, very happy.
Yeah. And, I got some opportunity in penalty land. I think the Bobwhites have picked up 6 here.
Definitely want to clean that up. I mean, 6 penalties, and we're not even, we're just halfway through the second quarter. Head coach Chris Sabrin certainly not happy about that. Kickoff fielded on the far side of the field. Bobbing and weaving his way forward is Lorenzia, and Lorenzia finally down, and we got another tie-up in a bit of a scuffle on the kickoff here. 2 flags. And again, we have offsetting by the officials, and head coach Chris Sabrin not impressed nor happy, having a chat with one of his Bobwhite football players.
Yeah, these guys got to be careful. You'd be looking at an ejection tape. Hopefully not the same individuals as the last kickoff.
Again, this game far more important for BFA. Again, playoff opportunity hanging in the balance here this evening. Mount Mansfield, this is their last game of the season. Nothing's going to carry over to next week. So you got to keep your composure, got to keep your head in the game for BFA. All right, back on the field. Cougars right on the ball. 2 receivers set here to the near side. Officials looking around and looking to start play.
Bring that pass rush, Tate.
Calfaro McGee takes the snap, back to pass, 3-step drop, and it's out, and it's a completion over on the far side. So, I mean, Joe, you got to give credit to the Cougar offensive line, but again, these are pretty quick pass plays. 3 steps back and out, 3 steps back, out, 3 steps. I mean, you can tell this offense has been working on their timing and certainly well coached here offensively.
2 to go.
2 receivers here to the near side. Cougars have a fairly young team as well. Again, we've talked about BFA a lot this season with mostly juniors on the team. Same thing with the Cougars. Handoff is going to be close to a first down for MMU.
You got a sophomore playing quarterback. The lead tailback is a junior, so.
Clock continues to run here. 6 minutes remaining here in the half. Cougars will look to their head coach, Reed Randall, for the play call.
It's like a fine miss. It started back in here.
Motion in the backfield here for the Cougars. Long count, and now we've got a flag. I think this one's going to get the Cougar offense. Again, illegal procedure against the Cougars. Joe, yeah, I mean, you hate this. I mean, typically as the season moves on, you see less and less penalties. You hate to see this many penalties for both teams here this night, you know, on the final regular season game of the season.
Yeah, I'm not keeping official tally, but I believe that's the third for MMU, and you put BFAs in there. You know, we got 9 flags here, not counting the 2 offsetters on the kickoff.
Correct.
So that's
correct.
Really, you know,
that's just on accepted penalties. All right, 1st and 15 here. Bobwhite defense will take it. Back to pass. Pressure fired on the far side and incomplete. That time we saw some pressure by BFA, and that forced the incompletion.
Yeah, it really resulted in an uncatchable ball.
It was Alexander Coutois in for BFA, and what do we've got here by the officials? I see a signal.
Is that a timeout? Is that
Timeout on the field.
I didn't see a timeout.
I'm not sure. I may be mistaken. No?
Yeah. Officials restart the game. Again, unclear why the short pause there. 2nd and 15. 2 receivers set. The top of the field here. Motion in the backfield. Quarterback keeper straight ahead and darted down after a 7-yard pickup. So Cauliflower McGee and a few nice quarterback keepers here in the first half sets up a 3rd and call it 8.
And I got to believe Matt Mansfield will run 2 plays here if they need to, Tate.
Down to 4:46. Clock continuing to run. Firing it, and pass is incomplete. Incomplete, almost a fumble on the play on that far side. Nice job defensively.
Like a 42, Colin Horrigan got a hand in on that one.
42, Colin Horrigan.
So decision time here for head coach Reed Rando. And it looks like, Joe, he's going to put out the kicking team on a 4th and about 8 and try to force BFA back against their own end zone.
I'd look for a little hard count here or some trickery, Tate.
They have got the BFA defense to jump off sides twice, and Joe, I'll tell you what, they almost got it again. Kick his way, and ball is caught by Porter Sweeney. Makes one defender miss. Now a second. Porter Sweeney still on his feet, and a nifty return out to the Bobwhite 35-yard line.
You know, not a whole lot of net there for MMU. Nice return by Sweeney. Decent bunt.
So 4:26. I mean, Joe, the way the Bobwhites have been running the football, having all 3 of their timeouts remaining, they should have an opportunity to move the ball down the field here.
You know, Bobwhites, you know, sit on a 15-point lead, 2-score lead. And, yeah, as you indicated, they got a full complement of timeouts. If it comes back the other way, I believe MMU has 2.
Sheehan Myers splits out wide on the far side for the Bobwhite. Shotgun formation, motion in the backfield, and handoff here over on that far side, and that's Jones. And Jones is upended for about a 10-yard loss.
That was number 70, Nicholas Nadal, creating the havoc for MMU there. See, to the best of my recollection, the Bobwhites' first negative running play of the night.
And that's a tough one, 12 yards. Bobwhites do have a couple of downs to try to make something happen, but now looking at a second and about 22. As Jones, we talked about, it's been raining on and off here this evening. Feel a little bit slick. Sweeney lines up directly behind Wagner. Here's a snap. Play action, back to pass for the first time today. Wagner airing out deep downfield, has Smith open, who makes the catch, and Duffy Smith with a big reception for BFA. So the first pass play of the day is a big one for the Bobwhites.
That's going to bring it all the way down to about the MMU 32, Tate.
Good job, Joe, by Wagner to really get some air under the football and allow Smith to just catch that in stride.
You know, a nice concentration on Smith's part. You know, he was fairly closely defended.
1st and 10 for the Bobwhites. Here's a snap, high snap. Taking it here to the near side is Sweeney, who's tracked down in the backfield. No gain on the play. And you have to begin to wonder if the Cougars are starting to recognize some of these offensive play calls. Again, that play has been fairly effective in the first half, but certainly expect some adjustments at halftime. It's going to be a loss of 1 on the play. At this point, the Bobwhites in no hurry with 2:44 remaining to sprint their way to the end zone. Again, 3 timeouts remaining for the Bobwhites.
Yeah, it'd certainly be nice to put something else on the board before the half.
Again, Cougars will be receiving to start the second half. Smith splits out wide on the far side of the field, pistol formation, and the BFA offense saw something they didn't like, and head coach Chris Sabrin calls a timeout. See if we can find some out-of-town scores here for you. Of course, that didn't. Taking a look, it's all Essex early here in their game, leading Rutland. I say early because it's in the second quarter. They have a 20-0 lead over Rutland with 2:22 remaining. Again, that game in Rutland. So, Joe, we saw Essex. Essex definitely has some horses. So I'm not, frankly, all that surprised by the current score.
I was, and I know Essex had played St. J fairly tight, came up on the wrong side of the scoreboard.
Lost by 6, I think. Yeah.
But, you know, we saw them up close last week, and it's a pretty good-looking club, Tate.
Again, in the second quarter, it's still Burton leading CVU 13-7. Back here in St. Albans, Bobwhites looking at a 2nd and 11. High snap and handoff straight ahead. Bobwhites pushing the pile here. And let's see, Joe, if Sweeney was the ball carrier.
Gain of about 5 on the play.
Yes, I would say. No, I think.
Down
Well,
and 6 to go.
It's hard to say. That might have been Manning.
sets up a 3rd and about 7.
That looked a little bit like a rugby play.
Yeah. Smith splits out wide to the far side. Motion in the backfield. High snap. Counter over on that far side to Jones. And Jones turns the corner, picks up a block, and he's free to the 10. And Jones takes it the distance for a BFA touchdown.
I'll tell you, I'd love to see the replay on that. There was a key block from Duffy Smith over on the left side, Tate. Look for number 84's block.
We'll try to take a look, and our replay, I think, comes in right after that block, Joe. I noticed it as well in real time, so good job by Duffy Smith opening things up there. And Devion Jones has his 2nd touchdown of the half.
Well, that will make up for any disappointment you might have had from that, negative 10-yard play to open this drive.
PAT is good. Our score with 1:26 remaining in the first half, BFA 35, MMU 13. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Joe, one thing we'll want to pay attention here is on kickoffs. The last 2 kickoffs the Bobwhites have had, there have been penalties against both squads, so we'll see if things get cleaned up here.
Yeah, we just need to, cooler heads need to prevail here for the Bobwhites tape. We just, you know, I got a decent thing going here, as you indicated. Very high likelihood the Bobwhites will be playing next week, and need to have all our resources.
Again, if you're tuning in, out-of-town scores in the first half, breaking in the Bobwhites' direction. Seahorses, used to be the Burlington Seahorses. I guess it still is, but the South Burlington Sea Wolves losing this evening, and CVU also losing. Opportunity here for the Bobwhites to not only make the playoffs, but potentially the number 7 seed. Kickoff taken all the way to the far side of the field, and number 42, Colin Horgan on the tackle for the Bobwhites. So, Cougars with 118. Not a lot of time, but Joe, the way we've seen them move the ball down the field, throwing the ball, that certainly is enough.
They can move the ball. They got a couple timeouts. We did have a penalty-free kickoff.
Oh, thank you. Good point. We brought it up. We should complete that analysis. No penalties on that kickoff for the first time in the last couple. So 1st and 10, ball spotted at the 25. Long count here by the Cougars. Back to pass, firing here to the near side, going down for an incomplete. Pass intended for Jake Kafara McGee.
Reasonably well executed play. I think he is just a victim of the wet field conditions there. The receiver lost his footing a little bit right there at the last moment.
Definitely a little slippery out there. And again, got to give credit to the Cougars who have been effective, even with these weather conditions, moving the football through the air. Sets up a 2nd and 10. Clock stopped at 1:14 with the incompletion. There's a snap. Back to pass again. Looking here to the near side and crossing over an incomplete flag, a late flag. Pass intended for Nathan Thomas Fulham.
Going to be illegal downfield, I think. I think that's what I saw. I mean, frankly, if that's what I think it is, the Bobwhites be better off declining it.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Yeah, offensive lineman. Nice call. Play just took a little too long to develop there for the Cougars. And one of the offensive linemen, again, you got to stay within 3 yards of the ball on a pass play, making it downfield. All right. Bobwhites will take the penalty. 2nd and 15. 1:09 remaining here in the second quarter. Now we've got a timeout taken by the Cougar offense. Northwestern Counseling and Support Services and the Afterglow Foundation are partnering to raise awareness and prevent suicide in our community. If you or someone you care about is struggling, remember, we are here for you 24/7 and completely confidential. Call NCSS Emergency Services anytime at 802-524-6554, then press 1. Or connect with the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by calling, texting, or chatting at 988. One call, one text, or one chat could save a life.
All right, down just over a minute left, Tate. MMU got a lot of work to do if they want to try to punch one.
And this is a big possession for them. Again, if they are able to come away with some points, they get the ball back to start the second half. There's a snap, back to pass. Plenty of time. Screenplay over on that far side of the field. I think that's Alston, and he is fumbling the ball, but pops back up into his possession, I believe.
So BFA number 80. I couldn't get the number from MMU, but they caught a break there as he got blocked square in the back.
Thought I saw the ball pop out, but again, having the replay did not. Just Alston's shirt getting tugged on. 3rd and 10 with 37 seconds. Clock is running, and now we've got another flag. And this one, I think, is against BFA. And if this is going to be offside, this is their 3rd offside. points of the half, and I believe penalty number 7. We may put some more time on the clock here because the clock will stop with the penalty. The clock's showing 21 seconds, but they'll put some more time back on here. I'm sure the Cougar coaching staff and head coach Reed Rando will. 32 seconds, so they do put 11 seconds back on the clock here for the Cougars. They pick up a free 5 yards, now looking at a 3rd and about 6. Here's a snap, back to pass, firing it high, deep over the middle of the field, and incomplete. Porter Sweeney in there to help break things up defensively along with Davion Jones.
Intended for number 1, Jake Joseph Kaforia McGee.
So 4th and 6, 27 seconds. I gotta think the Cougars will punt this way. I mean, because if you don't convert here, you're going to give BFA at least 2 opportunities, maybe 3 to throw it into the end zone. And, well, I say throw it in the end zone, but the Bobwhites still have 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, I think you got to punt it away here. You know, the Cougars took their shots, and you're right. The cost-benefit analysis just dictates that the Cougars punted away.
I mean, you get the ball in the second half, 35-13, not the score you want to see if you're MMU, but I'll tell you what, 35-13 is a lot better than 42-13.
Yeah,
if they decide to go for it here and not get it.
Well, you might see a hard count here. You know, they've had a little bit of success with that.
A little bit. I would say they've been successful 3 times with the hard count, including on the last punt. Last punt, you know, I think BFA was half a second off from potentially getting an offside call that go around. So they'll take a look. Cougars, I think it's a 4th and 6. So I don't think if they do get the Bobwhites offside, it would be automatic. But here's a snap. Kick is away. A high end-over-end kick. Bobwhites smartly get away from the football. Down to 21 seconds, 20, and 19, 18. And the whistle will down the clock and the ball right there at the BFA 37-yard line. Decision time here for head coach for BFA, Chris Sabrin. Joe, do you just kneel it at this point in time with the large lead, or do you try to really stretch the field here?
I wouldn't be doing anything fancy, Tate.
Bobwhites 1 for 1 in the passing category. Again, picking up a big first down on 2nd and a country mile.
Let's see how they come up to the line.
Looks like the Bobwhites are going to take the snap and the kneel, and the Bobwhites, Joe, will let the clock roll down here on senior night as they head into the locker room with a 35-13 lead. Joe, your thoughts on the first half?
Hey, the Bobwhites scored on every possession of that half, Tate, excepting that one player where they just knelt it out to go into the locker room. You know, BFA's had some success on the defensive side of the ball. Amazingly, no turnovers in this game, which kind of surprises me with the wet weather.
But plenty of flags.
A lot of flags, and mostly to the detriment of BFA. So we'll see if they can't clean that up a little bit. But overall, you know, that was a pretty decent half of football for the Bobwhites.
5 first half touchdowns for the Bobwhites. So with that, we'll take a timeout. Again, our score, BFA 35, Mount Mansfield 13. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans as we look to kick off the second half. Taking a look at some out-of-town scores here. We got the Springfield Cosmos leading the Milton Yellow Jackets 30-14. That would be a pretty big upset. Springfield Division III team, and frankly, that may open the door for MMU to make the playoffs, even with a loss here this evening. It is U32 leading Spalding 27-14. Colchester hanging in there with Hartford Hurricane. Battle of 2 Division II teams. The Hurricane undefeated, though, and Hartford also knocking off Middlebury, Rutland. Some would argue why they went down to Division II. Game that the BFA faithful are following closely. It's Burton heading into the half with a 13-7 lead over CVU. There are scenarios where the Bobwhites win tonight and a CVU loss that will move the Bobwhites not only into the playoffs but up into the 7th seed position. Close to halftime, the Hornets leading Rutland 28-14. And by last account, Middlebury was leading the Seawolves 7-0. We don't have an update on that. If you're watching on the field here, folks, the reason that the kickoff is taking place here 15 yards downfield is the Cougars were not just late, they were very, very, very late coming back from the half. So they've been assessed a 15-yard delay of game call here. So the Bobwhites, Joe, will be kicking off from the Cougar 45-yard line. I mean, I'll tell you what, if you're ever going to attempt an outside kick, this is a place to do it because it really doesn't hurt you much. Yeah,
we'll see what they do. BFA gone with line drive kicks the last couple kickoff opportunities, and not lined up like an offside. And it's going to go right in the end zone.
All right, the other thing is just to kick away and push the Cougars back to start the drive at the 20-yard line. So Bobwhites take advantage of the Cougars' delay, making it out to start the half. Cougars will start this drive at their own 20-yard line. Another important note, Joe, that Middlebury, who is looking to lock down the #1 seed here tonight against the Seawolves, if they take care of business, they actually will open the playoffs at home on Thursday night. I only say that with the handoff here to Alston, who breaks free, picks up a block, and Alston taking it the distance to the 40, to the 30. It's a foot race, and Alston breaks free, and he will take it for a Cougar touchdown on the very first play of the second half. An 80-yard touchdown scamper by Michael Austin.
Hey, just what the doctor ordered for MMU.
Well, all the importance as to that fifth and final touchdown of the half for BFA. You knew the Cougars weren't going to go away, and they have an offense that is certainly dangerous. So Cougars looking for 2 after that PAT block on their last touchdown. Motion in the backfield. Handoff, quarterback keeper straight ahead, and it is a 2-point PAT. So the Cougars come out thrashing. 1 play, 1 touchdown. We'll take a timeout. Our score with 11:45 in the third quarter. It is now BFA 35 and the Cougars 21. All right, welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Tate Brooks, Joe Luno on hand. Joe, I guess at this point, Bobwhites just need to let that roll off their back and focus on the offense here and keep things moving.
Just to settle down. I mean, Bobwhites have been running the football pretty successfully all night. I mean, still picked up a gob of yardage, but they've attempted exactly 1 pass all night, and just keep grinding it, eating some clock, Tate. With that, they maintain a 2-touchdown lead.
Another short line drive kick, and it's going to be fielded at the 30. Turning upfield is Jones. Jones sidesteps the defender, still on his feet. Now breaks free. Jones still moving the football. Look at Jones fight, and he is down to the 50-yard line. Not just second effort, Joe, third, fourth, fifth effort, and we've got, unfortunately, a Cougar defender still down on the field here, slowly getting up. But how about that effort there by Jones?
That was a heck of an effort by Jones. He did well to hold on to the football too, because he was in some crowds there.
Still, that's a great point, Joe, especially with wet conditions on the field. All right, here we go. BFA offense back out on the field. 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns. They've got the football right at the 50-yard line. Wagner, shotgun formation, MMU showing blitz. Wagner calls his own number, drives through 1 defender, stiff arms a second, and a face mask penalty coming in against Mount Mansfield.
Yep.
They'll be tacking on 15 yards as they pull Wagner down by the face mask.
Yeah, it looks like frankly, Tate, you can see that one pretty well from this side. That didn't look incidental. Come on, guys.
Well, I mean, especially if that's the way you get them down. I mean, it wasn't just touching the face mask. It was like fingers, hand, pull.
Yep.
So 15 yards tacked on to the end of the run. Ball now spotted at, call it, the Cougar 27-yard line. 1st and 10. We got three receivers here to the near side. Blitz again by Mount Mansfield. Nice block on the blitz pickup by the Bobwhites. And Wagner picks up 5 more. So, Joe, MMU may have decided at the half to switch things up. We've seen 2 snaps, 2 blitzes by that defense.
Yep, and Wagner calling his own number a couple times.
Folks often think about, blitzes at the NFL, college level as, happening on pass plays, but you do have run blitzes. And again, they have not been able to stop BFA on the ground at all here, and certainly trying to change things up
Wouldn't be
defensively.
surprised to see a, direct snap to Sweeney here.
Indeed, that it is the call, and there it is. Sweeney stutter steps, cuts back across the grain, and going to be right around the first down marker.
And if nothing else, I think Wagner needed a little breather.
So the Bobwhites pick up right where they left off in the first half, grounding and pounding here. Looking at a 1st and 10 at around the 17-yard line.
Like Jones checking into the backfield here.
Under 10 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. If you're just tuning in, Mount Mansfield took the very first snap of the 3rd quarter, 80 yards for a touchdown. Bobwhites looking to respond. 2 receivers set here to the near side. We got motion in the backfield. There's a snap. Wagner calls his own number, still on his feet, dives ahead and picks up 5, maybe 6 on the quarterback keeper.
Gain of 5 on the play. And 5 to go.
Like Manning checks back in, Jones back on the sideline.
Officials timeout on the field.
We had a Cougar defensive player getting up a little bit slowly, so they...
Looks like number 72 for Mount Mansfield.
And in fact, we actually may have a timeout. So a timeout taken... Yes? No? The defense started running over to the far side of the field. I don't think there was an actual official time... I don't think the Cougars took a timeout.
But the clock yet is not running. I don't know, Tate.
Yeah. The officials now say, let's go, start the clock. So, anyway, back on the field here. 2nd and 5 for the Bobwhites. Ball spotted at the 10-yard line. Manning and Porter Sweeney switch it up in the backfield. There's a snap. Counter here, pass into the end zone, and it is caught for a BFA touchdown. Any signal here? Yes. Duffy Sweeney coming down with it on the play action pass, and a good job by Duffy Smith to get down and pick that one up. Just off his laces there, Joe.
Yeah, nice. That's a nice catch. Smith had just about get on his back on that one.
So nice adjustment by Smith in the corner of the end zone to come down for 6. Now the PAT, high snap, they get it down. The kick is away. It is high enough, and the kick is good. Our score, with 9 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter, it is BFA 42, Mount Mansfield 21. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Tate Brooks, Joe Luno. 3rd quarter, Joe, we were talking during that break. A nice job by Smith there. Not an easy pass to catch.
No, I think that ball was a little short of target and wasn't very high off the ground. Well, sometimes, depending on how you're defended, those balls that are thrown short, that actually can be the receiver's advantage. It depends.
So the offensive fireworks for both squads continue here in the 3rd quarter. Both teams putting points up on the board.
BFA scored in all their possessions, excepting the one
kneel down.
One kneel down at the end of the half.
High end over end kick fielded at the 11-yard line here to the near side. Looking to turn it upfield is Alston, and Alston is finally gang tackled at the 35-yard line.
All right, decent containment by the Bobwhites, and we'll see what they can do. If nothing else, you got to make them earn it this time, Tate.
So here we go. 1st and 10. So the chain crew gets things situated. They had 2nd down, but the officials caught it and adjusted it to 1st and 10 here. Here's a snap. Handoff here to Alston straight ahead, and nothing there for Michael Alston this go-around. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage by Manning. Also on the tackle, Riven Williams for the Bobwhites.
And I know it's a little early to talk that way, but you know, MMU doesn't have a whole lot of opportunities to be, you know, running the ball up the gut, Tate. It is down by 3 scores. We're ticking, you know, on our way to the middle of the 3rd quarter.
Kaforia McGee with the snap, back to pass here to the near side, fires it high. Paul is caught and completed for the 1st down. Jack Lorenzia, another catch here this evening, one of his favorite targets tonight.
Yeah, Lorenzini has at least one of the MMU touchdowns this evening.
And just like that, Joe, Cougars back in BFA territory. Not even halfway through the 3rd quarter. There's a snap. A little dipsy-do here to the near side. Defended nicely there. Gain of about 2 on the play.
Reverse to number 1. You know, Jake Kaforia McGee, but as you indicated, Tate, not a whole lot there for him.
Sets up a 2nd and 9. The other California McGee with the snap calls his, oh, excuse me, that's a direct snap to the running back, Alston, and Alston turns the corner and still on his feet, and Michael Alston is to the 10, and once again, he'll take it the distance for a Cougar touchdown. Michael Alston's 2nd long touchdown of the 3rd quarter keeps the Cougars alive. Direct snap right out of the BFA playbook.
Yep, yeah, I mean, this got to do a little better with that, Tate. I don't know what else to say. You know, BFA with a 15-point lead pending the PAT here.
There's a high snap. They get it down and blocked. Blocked by BFA, number 34 for the Bobwhites. Brandon Manning, the 2nd PAT block of the game for the Bobwhites. With that, we'll take a timeout with 7:08 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Our score, BFA 42, the Cougars 27. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Joe, Bobwhites, I should say maybe the Cougars not going away.
They're not. You know, Cougars with 2 touchdowns early on in the 2nd half here. Bobwhites were able to come away with their 2nd block PAT of the evening to maintain a 15-point lead, but Bobwhites ready to receive up 42-27.
In the 1st half, it was the Cougars doing their damage through the air. So far in the 3rd quarter, it's been on the ground. There's the catch by Porter Sweeney here to the near side, and Sweeney takes a big hit up high. Number 55, Cooper Ramsey on the tackle there for Mount Mansfield.
Yeah, Sweeney wasn't going to juke his way out of that one. Ramsey wasn't having any of that.
All right, well, Bobwhites are going to have to keep things moving here offensively. You can ill afford, it so appears, Joe, to punt the football away as the Cougar offense continues to respond.
They have. We'll see if BFA can keep the heat on.
Hayden Sweeney and Duffy Smith split out wide on the far side of the field. Looks like we got a pistol formation in the backfield. Handoff here to the near side to Jones, who cuts, hits one defender, but nothing there. Took a bit of a pop at the line of scrimmage. Good by Jones just to hold on to that football.
Now Jones showed a little bit of patience there. He was waiting for a hole to develop, stringing it, and just wasn't there.
So no gain on the Jones carry. Sets up a 2nd and 10.
It's like number 34, Manning, back with Wagner here.
3 receivers set on the far side. There's a high snap. Calling his own number is Wagner. Wagner drives ahead. Here's a flag that comes in. Wagner bounces off a defender and still driving ahead. And Wagner close to a first down. But, Joe, I think this one may be coming back on a hold at the offensive line.
It's...
Again, you know, it's got to be frustrating as a coach because that is away from the play. You don't need to do that.
You just don't, as you indicated. I mean, at least 3 of the Bobwhite holds this evening have been nowhere near the play.
That's a big one. I mean, they're looking at a 3rd and short or a first down for BFA. Now they're looking at a 2nd and 20. And Joe, the Bobwhites are fortunate in the first half. You know, 6 penalties and able to overcome them, but you just can't keep doing it. It's going to come back and bite you.
There's no question. You know, hopefully not this evening. We'll see what the Bobwhites can do here on a 2nd and 20 to go. Clock just ticked under 6 minutes here in the 3rd quarter.
So halfway through the 3rd quarter and 3 touchdowns already. Got a handoff over on that far side. Not a whole lot going on. Pick up a 4, maybe 5 by Porter Sweeney. And the Cougars more than happy to give up 4 or 5 yards and set up a 3rd and 15. Well, the Bobwhites haven't had to go to the air often, Joe. When they have, they've come through 2 for 2. But the Cougars certainly will be sitting and playing the pass play here on 3rd and 15.
See, Manning is checked out. 23, Jones is back in.
So we'll see what head coach Chris Sabrin dials up here for the Bobwhite offense. 3 receivers set here. Quick snap, play action here to the near side. Looking downfield is Wagner, looking, fires high, and it is complete for an interception. Intercepted by the Cougars down around the 41-yard line. Number 3, Nathan Thomas Fulham coming down with it on nice interception.
Yeah, ball was intended for Duffy Smith, and it just didn't make him to him. That'll be the first turnover by either team this evening.
It certainly will give some life to this Cougar offense starting at the 41. And looking to make it a 1-score game once again. Penalties hurt. They catch up with you. 3 receiver set on the far side. Handoff here straight ahead, and breaking free is Alston. And Alston steps out of bounds. And Joe, give Alston lots of credit. Breaking this first defender. I mean, that could have been stopped for 2 yards, but Alston kept his feet moving and turns into about a 15-yard gain.
Yeah, Mudgett had him right around the line of scrimmage, and he just couldn't hold on to Alston. Alston's had just a great full game of stats here, and so far in this 3rd quarter, Tate.
Indeed. 3 receivers on the far side of the field here. Here's a snap, back to pass, looking, fires, and in. Is it complete? No official signal. Yes, they're going to say completed. Going down for the football there, Calafora McGee. Jack Calafora McGee. Sets up a 2nd and about 3. James Robert Calfora McGee takes the snap. Back to pass, drops, looks, fires over the middle, and is it complete? Yes, complete. Coming down with it is Nathan Fulham, the man with the interception. Thought that one might break loose, but comes down with it. Great concentration, and the Cougars are threatening once again.
Man, that was threaded right between two Bob White defenders, Tate.
Three receiver set, actually empty backfield here. Motion in the backfield, and now we've got a whistle, and what do we have? A timeout taken by BFA. So the Bobwhites defensively using their first charge timeout. With that, we'd like to thank our community partners that help make the broadcast possible. Northwestern Counseling and Support Services, the Afterglow Foundation, Northwestern Rehab Services, My Healthy Vermont, Notch, Stone's Auto St. Albans and Fairfield, Stewart's Clarence Brown, Handy Cars, Union Bank, JC Image, and the Collins Pearly Sports and Fitness Center. If your business would like to join our community partners and contribute to the production of these games, please contact Paul Snyder at Northwest Access TV, 802-782-8676. Joe, it's this crucial time here for BFA. You don't want it. You're going to really give the Cougars momentum here. If you pull, they'll keep moving it.
You're playing with fire. I mean, BFA needs to figure out how to get a stop here, Tate.
Three receiver set, top of your screen here for the Cougars. Motion in the backfield. Play action, firing over the middle, high and incomplete. Pass intended for Nathan Thomas Fulham. Brings up second down. Again, Cougars in 4-down territory. Trying to pull this back within a one-score game. 3:51 here. Still in the third quarter. Cougars looking for their third touchdown of the third quarter. Again, empty backfield. Again, motion in the backfield. And a ball is loose. Fumble on the play. And a big stop.
And a fumble.
They're going to give it to Michael Alston. They're going to say
Alston was down.
Yeah.
Boy.
See if we can pull that up on our replay there. Are they going to say it was a pass?
That was not a pass, Tate.
All right.
Jeez.
Unfortunately, no replay available on that one. So 3rd and 10.
Yeah, if that was a pass, I'm calling games for the Celtics next week. I mean the Boston Celtics.
That's a big call. That would have been about 3rd and about 20. Instead, it's 3rd and 10. Far more manageable. Handoff straight ahead, and Alston this time is stacked up, manning there on the tackle for BFA, along with Cole Phillips. Loss of 2 on the play, and a big 4th down here, Joe. You don't want to say in the third quarter this could be the game, but this is a very important play here with 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Bobwhites looking for a stop. Back to pass. Plenty of time. A little screen pass here to the near side, and stood up and down. And the Bobwhite defense holds. Great job there by Braylon LaValle reading the play there and helping to break things in, and polishing off on the tackle was Aiden Mayo. So great job by Mayo taking Alston down, who has had a fabulous third quarter. So the Bobwhites with a big, big stop.
We're going, Tate.
Clock will stop with the change of possession. 3:05 here. Remaining in the third quarter. Bobwhites with a 15-point lead. Duffy Smith splits out wide here to the near side. Bobwhites will get back to business here and hoping not to have any flags. Taking it to the outside is Wagner, and Wagner in a foot race has the first down and more. And Jonas Wagner on a big run out to the out to the 47-yard line. So Wagner's biggest run of the day. No flags. And the Bobwhites looking once again to try to extend the lead.
No, big stop back there, and nice, great way to open the drive. Great way to open the drive, Tate.
Well, we have a minute, Joe. Should remind our St. Albans audience that the St. Albans Steelers are playing in their league semifinal tomorrow. That game taking place down at Houghton Park. Game time 8:30 a.m. So folks are around. I'm sure the Steelers would love to have you swing by Houghton Park and pull in that big semifinal game. I believe against Chittenden South. There's a snap, a little throw here to the near side, incomplete. Pass was intended for Hayden Sweeney.
Yeah, best of luck to him. I know the Steelers were in the finals, I believe 3 seasons ago.
Made it to the semifinals last year, so they're into the semifinals for back-to-back years, trying to take that next step with a win tomorrow.
Like Jones checking out, number 34, Braden Manning checking back in for the Bobwhites.
Sets up a 2nd and 10. Clock did stop with the incompletion. 2:25 in a slow-moving third quarter. Again, we've seen 3 touchdowns. 2 receivers here to the near side. Pistol formation. Wagner looking around. Now we've got a flag.
Flag before it's going to be on the Bobwhites, I would think.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down and 15 to go.
Well, Bobwhites on that last possession forced them to turn the ball over. Now they're going to look at a 2nd and 15. Again, penalties rearing their ugly head here this evening. 2 receivers here to the near side. Again, pistol formation, long count, and now we got
some movement.
No call by the official. Handoff here to the near side, and all sorts of running room is Porter Sweeney as he was wrestled down after about a 7-yard pickup. Bobwhite coaching staff was looking for defensive offside. I think the official was saying, yeah, there was movement, but they didn't cross into the neutral zone, so sets up a 3rd and 8 here for the Bobwhite offense. Under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Game clocking in 2 hours. 2 hours in, we're not at the end of the third quarter. High scoring affair, we'll do that. Motion in the backfield. There's the pass, and ball is complete. Turning is Porter Sweeney. And Sweeney, a foot race, dives ahead down to the Cougar 20-yard line. Nice completion between Wagner and Sweeney.
And, yeah.
Porter Sweeney shaking up a little bit here. And Bobwhites can ill afford to have an injury from Sweeney, who I think injured his ankle a bit on that shoestring tackle.
But really haven't seen Sweeney used like that this year, Tate.
Neither had the Cougar defense.
Well, how could they?
Great play call there by the Bobwhites. And hopefully Sweeney's able to walk that off. Sets up a 1st and 10.
Like Jones is gonna check in where Sweeney usually is.
Lines up directly behind Wagner. Now Manning to the right, and there's an all-out blitz by the Cougars trying to bottle up Jones, and they do just that. So the Cougars sending everybody and the kitchen sink there.
Yeah. Bobwhites do eke out a minimal gain, but not a whole lot, as you indicated, Tate.
Definitely a run blitz there by that Cougar defense, as the Bobwhites have been gouging them here this evening on the ground. Down to about 20 seconds remaining here in the quarter. Likely the last play call as the Bobwhites look at a 2nd and about 8. I think the Bobwhites need to snap the ball one more time. Maybe not. The way they're reacting in the huddle here with 4 seconds, I think head coach Chris Saber more than happy to roll it down here, take a timeout, take a breather, let Porter Sweeney continue to walk things off on the sideline. With that, we'll take a quick timeout. Our score at the half, at the third quarter, at the end of the third quarter, it's BFA 42, MMU 27. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Tate Brooks, Joe Luno on hand. We'll continue to look for some out-of-town scores. It's the Hornets leading Rutland 28-20 in a high-scoring affair. Woodstock Wasps leading the Bellows Falls Terriers 46-38, speaking of high scores. And this one, Joe, a battle of two top Division II teams. The undefeated Hartford Hurricane tied up 21 apiece with Colchester. Big third down, play action pass, and the ball, Wagner, in and out of the hands of Hayden Sweeney. Incomplete. And one would think here, what are the Bobwhites going to do? Probably going for it. Don't think he can kick a field goal in these conditions. Well, a little too far out.
I believe this is a
third down. This is third down.
Yeah.
Don't need to make that decision right now. Thank you. I glanced up. I saw the third down marker, but they had just flipped it. All right. Third and call it 8. Smith. Hayden Sweeney. Over on the far side there for you. Manning lines up in the wing back here. Here's a handoff to Jones. Jones stutter steps, falls a block, and Jones, flag comes in, and Jones, they blow the whistle. Do we have a face mask? What's going on here?
I don't know what that
we got MMU cheering. They blow the whistle, and Jones wasn't down. This is, I saw a face mask. Quick whistle out there. And I assume the face mask is against the Cougars, I would think, but should not jump to conclusions here. We were looking at a 3rd and 8. Jones probably had 4 yards on the carry before the whistle came in. I don't know if when the flag came, the whistle then sounded and Jones wasn't down.
A couple of different flags. The officials are hanging out over the MMU players.
Face mask against the Cougars.
Okay.
Personal foul, face mask against the Cougars. All right, I don't know. Must be 2 separate face masks. You can only take one of them, obviously. Or I shouldn't say obviously, but that is the case. So that will be an automatic first down with the 15 yards tacked on from where they considered Jones to be down. That will spot the ball at the Cougar 8-yard line.
So it's a nice break for BFA, but you really don't want to see these face masks today. It's a good way to hurt somebody.
Yeah, and Porter Sweeney has yet to check back in. He's on the sideline. Again, Jones in, lined up as Wagner calls his own number. Nice block by Jones, and Wagner driving ahead, and he's going to be in for a BFA touchdown. Jonas Wagner on the 8-yard keeper extends the Bobwhite lead. Great job by Wagner extending with his arms towards the end of that play, as we see on our replay. Just enough to make it into the end zone by a yard, and a critical touchdown there, Joe, by that Bobwhite offense.
Absolutely. We'll see if they can execute the extra point here.
Here's a snap. They get it down under pressure. The kick is up. It's high enough, and the kick is good. Our score with 11:41 remaining is BFA 49, the Cougars 27. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center. Joe, defense did what they had to do on their last opportunity out there. The offense responded, and really now the pressure is on the Cougars here. They have to score on their remaining possessions here in the fourth quarter. That's all it's the only choice they have.
They do, and they cannot let BFA score again.
Correct.
The clock is every bit as much for their opponent as BFA at this point in time, Tate.
So a big stop, big responding touchdown. And the ball is loose on the ground, and it looks like BFA may come up with it. when it is BFA football.
Looks like that was picked up, recovered by number 80 from BFA.
Braylon LaValle. So the Bobwhites, we've seen these line drive kicks, hits one of the up men. And on this evening, Joe, when it's wet and slippery out there, that's a great way to run your kickoff.
Yeah, the Bobwhite special teams have a bunch of bright spots this evening.
They've been special. Two blocked PATs, an onside kick recovery.
Almost returned to kickoff, if not for a hold. That had nothing to do with the return.
There's a snap. Wagner, stiff arm, and Wagner stays in bounds. Are they going to, well, I thought they stayed in bounds. I guess they call him out, but we got a Cougar defender a little slow getting up. With that, we'll take a quick timeout. Again, our score, BFA 49, the Cougars 27. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football. Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center. It was Nathan Fulham that was down.
We get off the field on his own steam, though, Tate.
Good sign. Will be interesting to see if Porter Sweeney comes back in. You know, he made it over to the sideline on his own, but with the lead that the Bobwhites have, they may wish to tread carefully with him with what looks to be a playoff game next week. High snap. Wagner, busted play, calls his own number, drives ahead, and Wagner again forced out of bounds.
And Wagner was looking to hand the ball off to a back that simply was not there. So
good job by Wagner to make something out of nothing there on the busted play. Now I will say this, Cougars have been able to force Wagner out on back-to-back plays, so very little time off the clock here. Bobwhite's looking at a third and call it 5. They'll want to pick up this first down and keep the chains moving.
Absolutely. Well, here, little advice to Coach Shabern down there. You know, run this one in the middle of the field.
And now we've got a timeout taken by BFA. So on this 3rd and 5, Bobwhites want to regroup, make sure everyone's on the same play like we saw in the last play, a busted play in the backfield. So on this important 3rd down, they use a timeout. We'd like to thank our community partners that help make this broadcast possible. Northwestern Counseling and Support Services, the Afterglow Foundation, Northwestern Rehab Services, My Healthy Vermont, Notch, Stone's Autos St. Albans and Fairfield, Stewart's Clarence Brown, Handy Cars, Union Bank, JC Image, and Collins Pearly Sports and Fitness Center. If your business would like to join our community partners and contribute to the production of these games, please contact Paul Snyder at Northwest Access TV, 802-782-8676. All right, coming out of the Bobwhites timeout.
It's like 3rd and 4 or so for the Bobwhites.
Now, the Bobwhites have yet to punt here this evening. They have turned the ball over once on an interception. Wagner calls his own number, stutter steps, now reverses course. I think he's going to be just short of the first down at around the 39 of the Cougars. Bobwhites looking at a 4th and about 2. Joe, I got to think Bobwhites will go for it here. I mean, you could punt away and try to push the Cougars back, but
I think you're better off going for the first down, Tate. You know, it's a high probability conversion, and you say, you know, the Cougars not in a horrible field position here if you turn the ball over on downs.
Bobwhites are probably going to have to pick up the pace a little bit here on this 4th and 2. There's a snap, high snap, hands off to Jones. Jones has a hole and more, and Jones fires ahead for a BFA first down. Jones there, yeah, got that handoff and had a little burst of speed there. He saw a bit of a hole, and that's all he needed.
Hey, you'll see that from him. Yeah, I think we're going to see Jones might have a little more opportunity to run between the hashes here. That's a role we haven't seen him in a whole lot this year with Sweeney filling, primary ball carrying duties.
Bobwhite coaching staff continues to work on Porter Sweeney's, I think, left leg there, so that's a little more concerning. We'll certainly can ill afford to have him out next week in the playoffs. Here's a snap, little swing pass over on the far side of the field. Pass is completed, turning it upfield is Porter Sweeney, and Porter Sweeney will have a first down.
Hayden Sweeney.
Hayden Sweeney, sorry, we were just talking about Porter Sweeney, who's being worked on the near sideline, but Hayden Sweeney with a nice catch and first down. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, he's a freshman, folks.
Clock will continue the run. The Bobwhites more than happy, Joe, to take their time in the huddle now.
Absolutely, running down towards 9.5 minutes here in the game.
High snap, Wagner gets it down. Stutter steps, Jones takes it the other way, makes two defenders miss, still on his feet, and finally still on his feet, and twisted out of bounds. So the Cougars had 3 or 4 opportunities, and Jones eluding them each and every time.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know that he looked like about a 0-yard play, but boy, Jones did some running.
Not easy to get him down. More importantly, Jones did manage to stay in bounds. So the clock will continue to run with 9 minutes remaining here on a 2nd and 11. Here's a snap, handoff here to the near side. Stutter steps by Jones. Jones with a move. Jones still drawing. And Jones down within the 10-yard line.
Boy, it looks like if he's not moving the sticks, he's close, Tate.
Davion Jones having his best night of the season. And indeed is enough for the first down. So 1st and goal for BFA. Knocking on the door here with 8:48 remaining in the game.
Hey, take nothing for granted, Tate. But when you got 7 touchdowns in the game, so there have been a lot of numbers called tonight for the Bobwhite offensively. I believe Jones has got 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Bobwhite scored a touchdown here. I mean, there's just the time. There won't be enough possessions available here for the Cougars, unless just something absurd happens. And again, I think we're going to have a penalty against that Bobwhite offense. Again, I'm sure Coach Chris Sabrin will look to clean that up over the next week here. I'm sure he's very unpleased by the number of penalties by the squad here tonight. The other thing that penalty does, Joe, besides marking off 5 yards, well, it temporarily stops the clock.
Yeah, but I mean, there are a lot of procedural penalties here.
Yes.
You know, those are just completely avoidable, frankly, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
So here you go, Wagner, 1st and goal, calls his own number, and Wagner down about the 9-yard line. 8 minutes to go.
Wagner gets a few back. Kills some clock. MMU is getting where, they're going to have to think about how they preserve the clock. Or
down in Rutland, they've come back to knot things up with Essex 28 all.
You mean the Rutlands?
2nd and goal. See if we can track down. I'll see if I can track down that CVU score. I haven't seen it recently. And I do got an update. It's Burton 44 and CVU 14. Handoff over on that far side to Hayden Porter, who lost his footing there. Again, slick conditions out in the field. Joe, as he tried to plant his left foot and cut up, the turf went out.
Yeah, Hayden Sweeney just lost his footing there. He might have gotten something out of that nonetheless.
So what appears to be a likely victory for Burton over CVU tonight, and with the Bobwhites in excellent position here with 6:50 remaining, it's not only possible that the Bobwhites will make the playoffs. They will. They may actually jump CVU for that 7th seed. And Jones takes it, makes one defender miss, and Jones still on his feet, sees the far pylon, dives, and Jones is the end, yes, for a BFA touchdown. Jones with the hat trick, his third touchdown of the game.
I'll tell you, Jones spun out of a tackle right at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if we'll be able to pick it up on the replay, but that was a heck of a play right after the handoff.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say line of scrimmage, Joe. I would say Jones was in the backfield when he made that play.
Yeah, you may be right. You may be right. We've seen that spin move a couple times this year from Jones.
Kick is up, and it is good. Our score was 6:29 remaining. It's BFA 56, the Cougars 27. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Joe, Bobwhites with a 56-27 lead. It's been a long time since we've seen a 5 spot on the scoreboard here at the Collins Pearly.
It's been many moons, Tate. I would have to consult the elders to get an answer on that one.
We don't know where BFA will be next week. They will be on the road. If they're at if they're at Middlebury, that game will be Thursday night for awareness. Another squib kick here to the near side. This one will make its way still live, and down at the 26-yard line. Jumping in there was Wilder Mudgett for BFA, who almost came away with another onside kick. That ball looked like it might squirt out of bounds, but found a little bit of a alleyway there and stayed in.
I'll tell you, assuming things hold up the way they look like, short of something really strange they're going to in the favor of the Bobwhites, tonight's game ball, again, would go to the Bobwhite special teams.
One onside kick recovery, one almost near kickoff return for a touchdown, 2 PAT blocks. First and 10 here, 6:24 remaining. Motion in the backfield by Alston. Play action pass. Back looking to air it out deep downfield. Has a man open. Ball is caught and racing with the football for the first down. Nathan Fulham having himself a heck of a game here this evening.
Yeah, big play here for Mansfield to open up the series.
The challenge here, though, Joe, for this point in time, as potent as the Cougar offense is, and even if they get a touchdown on this series, again, time is the challenge.
Yep, clock ticking towards 6 minutes here. Got a 4-possession game.
And one would think only 3 possessions left. Heavy pressure in the backfield, and the ball is fired out of bounds, incomplete.
Boy, I don't know how you'd have 3 possessions left, really. You mean total?
Well, I'm saying if the Cougars scored on their next catch, BFA.
You got BFA and a 3 and out.
Yeah,
BFA's not going to be throwing the ball or running out of bounds.
Then you get an onside kick.
Yeah. You got to have.
You got things need to go your way to get 3.
Yeah, you're down to like a Rube Goldberg equation at this point in time.
And it's a handoff straight ahead to Alston, and Alston is stood up. Bobwhite's more than happy to give up 7 yards, but force the Cougars to use the clock.
Yeah, I mean, Alston's had a huge third. A lot of offense in this game.
Indeed.
If you told MMU before they came in here they're going to have 27 points with 5.5 minutes in the fourth quarter to be down by 4 scores, they'd call you nuts, I'm guessing.
And they would take 27 points. They would say they'd probably win. Handoff over on the far side. That's Alston again with the carry. He'll have enough for the first down.
Tackled in bounds, though, Tate.
Clock will stop momentarily as they move the chains. Cougars right to the line of scrimmage. Again, if you're just tuning in, senior night here at the Collins Pearly for the Bobwhites. Handoff or over on that far side. Again, 5-6 yards on the play. And Bobwhite defense more than happy to give up the runs between the tackles and make them use clock. Under 5 minutes to go at this point in time. Here's a snap. Firing into the end zone. The ball is caught, and no signal yet. Down around the 1. Jack Lorenzini on the reception there, and it's now going to be 1st and goal at around the 5 for the Cougars. So Mount Mansfield continuing to press offensively. 3 receivers sent here to the near side, and BFA will use one of their timeouts. We'll see if we can catch up on some out-of-town scores for folks. So as we indicated, it looks like it's a final with Burton defeating CVU 44-14. So an opportunity there for the Bobwhites to move up to the 7th seed. We got a final score between Hartford and Colchester, battle of Division II teams. The Hurricane undefeated going into tonight. Come out still undefeated, but a 28-21 game. So Colchester falls to 5-3, but Colchester has played a number of Division I teams. They lost just by a touchdown late against St. Johnsbury. So those two teams very well may meet in the Division II playoffs as well. Middlebury, I think the final over the Seawolves, 35-14. So the Seawolves officially eliminated from playoff contention. So it's official, the Bobwhites are in now at this point in time, regardless of tonight's score. The Tigers with the win will lock down the number 1 seed and host the number 8 seed next Thursday evening in Middlebury.
Did we see anything from the Milton score?
We will momentarily because, Joe, we've got a flag on the field. I know you can't believe it.
This one looks like it's going to be on the Cougars.
What can we find from Milton next door? And in an upset, it's the Cosmos of Springfield with a 43-14 victory over Division II Milton. And Joe, I believe with that outcome, the Cougars actually may still back their way into the Division II playoffs. There's a snap, and calling his own number down to around the 1-yard line. You know, we'll look for some updates Saturday night from the Vermont Principals Association. But some interesting outcomes tonight have certainly shaken things up in the standings. And the handoff over on the far side, in for a Cougar touchdown is Michael Austin, who continues to put up numbers here in the second half.
Hey, it's the 3rd touchdown of the half, Tate.
That touchdown coming with 4:03 remaining here in the 4th quarter as we strike the 9:30 p.m. hour here. Cougars look like they will go for 2. Got an empty set backfield here. Alston in motion, back to pass, looking over the middle, has him in, and the 2-point conversion is good. Number 9, Alexandria Romico comes down with it. With that, we'll take a quick timeout. With 4:03 remaining, it's BFA 56, Mount Mansfield 35. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone. Here, we'll see if the Cougars attempt an onside kick. Indeed, that's the case. It squirts loose. Ball still on the ground and alertly covered up by the Bobwhites. Number 82, Silas Lucina Parrott.
Recovered by Silas Luciano Parrott.
Down to 4:03, Joe. A few snaps here. At least one first down should be enough to head back into the locker room.
Keep the ball on the ground, Tate.
Well,
keep the ball on the ground, keep it in the middle of the field. Bobwhites have had perfectly fine success in that regard this evening. I see no reason to fiddle with it at this point of the game.
No punts by this BFA offense. Just one interception back in the 3rd quarter. The Bobwhite offense has been humming all night long. Here's a snap, calling his own numbers. Wagner, who loses his footing. Field, Joe, you can kind of see starting to get torn up a little bit out there. Again, this is the final regular season game here for the varsity football team. Field's gotten a lot of use over the fall. Again, Wagner with his head coach, Chris Sabrin, again, more than happy to watch the clock tick its way down here. Again, 3-possession game.
Yeah, I mean, a first down would be ideal, Tate, but frankly, I don't even think the Bobwhites need to do that.
Jones lines up. Now Manning in motion. Jones takes the handoff, takes it here to the near side, and he'll step out of bounds. Picks up a few, sets up a 3rd and 7. That will stop the clock, though, with 3:06 remaining. Two receivers set on the far side of the field. Bobwhites looking to convert on this 3rd down. Wagner calls his own number, takes it outside, strives ahead, and Wagner will have enough for the BFA touchdown.
Moving the sticks, Tate.
That may be the last the Bobwhites need to play things out here.
Clock down under 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Did have an update down in Rutland, and it's Essex leading Rutland 35-28. An excellent Division I game here tonight in Vermont. 1st and 10, there's a snap. Wagner, who makes a nice grab once again. Joe, can't say enough about that. Wagner's smart enough to stay in bounds. Now we got a flag, another, maybe a face mask here. Horse tackle.
Yep, that's going to go against MMU.
That should certainly polish off the game here, I would think. You probably can head into victory formation. No, they're going to call offense.
An offensive horse collar?
I guess so.
I didn't know that was a thing. Apparently it is.
Clock will stop with a penalty at 2:19, so Bobwhites theoretically, I think now, do have to pick up a 1st down with the clock stop. Looking at a 1st and 20. Wagner certainly has gotten a workout back there this evening. Joe, just going to say, under the weather conditions, Wagner obviously has had a very good game, but a good job out of the shotgun. There have been a few snaps that have been high that Wagner's been able to pull down.
Yeah, handled every single one of them. There was one that was a high snap, and then he looked to hand it off to a back that, there were clearly some signals crossed. Made a play out of it. Here he keeping it again.
And they bring him down rather quickly. 3-yard gain. Sets up a 2nd and about 15. Minute 42 to go. .127, 2nd down.
Looks like the MMU sideline is going to be content with just letting it run down here, Tate.
Well, it appears, they want to get home because they'll have practice this week as they look to back their way into the playoffs. Hand off to Jones here on the near side. Drives ahead, and Jones picks up maybe 4 more on the carry, setting up a 3rd and about 11. And one more snap here, Joe, and that should be able to do it. Third and 11. Senior Jonas Wagner makes his way into the huddle. And Joe, what a senior night it's been for these BFA Bobwhites with 20 seconds remaining.
Hey, that's a offensive explosion here for the Bobwhites this evening.
Victory formation, Wagner on senior night. How fitting, the senior takes a knee as the clock counts down to 7 seconds. And the Bobwhites will come away with the victory here at the Collins Pearly. Joe, your final thoughts?
Hey, BFA offense was very efficient tonight. You know, we hope the number 20 Porter Sweeney got dinged up a little bit there in the third quarter. Was held out the balance of the game, and hopefully that's nothing serious. Caught a little bit of a break with CVU going down to defeat tonight, so it appears the Bobwhites have a good chance of showing up in the 7 seed, and we'll go from there. And I don't quite understand how the VPA standings work. I know there are a lot of different factors that go into those scores.
So on senior night, the Bobwhites come out with the big win. Again, they qualify for the Division I playoffs. Joe, a nice bounce-back season for BFA after having a winless season. So regardless of what happens next week, 3 wins this season and making the playoffs has to be considered a huge step forward. And again, as you note, with other out-of-town scores apparently looking the way they are, it's likely that the Bobwhites will land that number 7 seed and avoid a Thursday night game down in Middlebury. So that will do it here from the Collins Pearly. For Joe Luno, for Tate Brooks, our final score, it was BFA 56, Mount Mansfield 35. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.